You're scrolling through your Instagram and you see another brand launch, selling everything from skincare to supplements to fitness gear, and you think, God, this brand must be crushing it. But 6 months later, gone, wiped from the internet. Because the brands that do everything are the ones that fail the fastest. And I've seen it hundreds of times. Unfortunately, someone launches with 5 different product lines, targeting 3 different customer verticals, ads on every different platform they can possibly find, and then they wonder why nothing sticks. My name's Sasha Karabut, and over the past decade, I've helped thousands of founders build 7- and 8-figure e-commerce brands, and every single one that succeeded did so because they got laser focused on 4 things instead of 10. I call these things the 4 Ps. 1 problem, 1 person, 1 platform, and 1 promise. And if you nail these 4 things, you don't need anything else to get your brand off the ground. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through each step of the 4 Ps step by step. By the end, you'll know exactly where to focus your energy and how to avoid the mistakes that kill most e-commerce brands before they even make their first sale. Let's jump right into it. The first P is 1 problem, and this is where most people get it wrong right out of the gate. They think their product solves multiple problems, so they try and sell them all at once. But your customer's brain doesn't work like that. When someone's scrolling through their feed, they're not looking for a product that does 10 different things. They're looking for something that solves the one specific problem they have right now. And interestingly, there are actually 2 types of problems you can solve. You're either moving someone away from pain or you're taking them towards gain. Away from pain simply means that someone has an active problem that's making their life worse and they need it fixed. They're in pain right now and your product wants to bring them back to just being okay. Towards gain means someone's already average, ordinary, but they have an unfulfilled desire to be better. They want to look better. They want to feel better. And your product helps them to level up. And you need to know which of those 2 you are solving, because the way you talk about the problems is entirely different. Let's say, for example, you're selling a sleep tracker. If you're solving away from pain, your customer is someone who's been struggling with insomnia for months. Your messaging would focus on finally getting rest, waking up refreshed, ending the frustration of lying awake all night. But if you're solving towards gain, your customer is someone who sleeps fine, but they want to optimize. Your messaging would then focus on peak performance, unlocking the best version of yourself, mastering your sleep for maximum productivity in your day. Same product, but 2 completely different problems, 2 completely different customers. And if you try and talk to both people at once, you end up talking to neither. So what you want to do is pick 1 problem, write it down, be specific, and then ask yourself, is this a away from pain or is this a towards gain problem? Because once you know that, you know exactly how to talk about it to your prospective customer. And don't worry about leaving money on the table by not solving every problem, because the brands that own 1 problem always win against the brands that try and solve 5 problems. Step 2, this is called 1 person, right? So you've nailed the 1 problem. Now you need to figure out who has the problem. And this is where things get real. You see, most people say their target customer is women aged 25 to 45 who like health and wellness. But that's not a real person. That's a demographic, right? And demographics don't buy. People do. You need to get very specific. You need to know what they do on weekends, which podcasts they listen to, what frustrates them. Here's how to do this. Go to where your customers already are. Find communities. Find the Reddit threads. Find the Facebook groups. Find the Instagram accounts and follow them and just listen. Read the comments. Pay attention to how they talk about their problems. Notice the exact words that they use, the phrases that come up over and over and over again. When you understand how your person communicates, you can speak their language, not speak your language that tries to sell to them. And I'm not talking about surface level stuff here either. I'm talking about understanding the specific behavior. What time of the day are they most active online? What kind of content do they engage with? Think about it like this. There's a huge difference between saying your target customer is entrepreneurs and saying your target customer is first-time founders in their 30s who left their corporate job and they're terrified they made the wrong decision. The first one, very vague. The second one is a real person with real emotions. And when you understand those emotions, the fear of failure, the pressure to prove themselves, the isolation, starting something alone, you can create messaging that hits different. Because that person isn't just looking for a product. They're looking for validation that they're on the right path. And when your brand speaks to that specific feeling, they don't just buy from you, they become loyal to you. Step number 3, one platform. So now you know your problem and you know your person. The next question is, where are you going to reach these people? And this is where people make another massive mistake. They try and be on every platform all at once. They're posting on Instagram, they're running TikTok ads, they're doing YouTube videos, they're sending emails, they're trying to do all of it because it does work, but they're doing it so poorly because they're stretched way too thin. Successful brands, they pick one platform and they dominate it. They become known for showing up consistently in one place before they ever think about expanding. Now, how do you choose which platform? Look, it comes down to 3 strategies. One is called an earned audience, one is called a paid audience, and then one is called a borrowed audience. Earned audiences mean building your own following organically. You're posting content, engaging with people, growing slowly, but owning the attention that you get. And this works fantastic on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Paid audiences mean buying traffic through ads, Facebook ads, Google ads, TikTok ads. Now, this is much faster, but it costs you money up front. And you need to know what you're doing or you'll burn money really quickly. Now, borrowed audiences means leveraging someone else's audiences. This might mean influencers, affiliates, podcast sponsorship. What this means is you're tapping into trust that's already been built. Let me give you an example. If your product is visually appealing and your person is scrolling on Instagram every day, maybe you start with organic content and influencer partnerships. You're already meeting them where they are. But if your product solves a specific search intent, like perhaps eco-friendly pet supplies, maybe Google Ads makes more sense because people are out there searching for particular solutions. The point is, you need to match your platform to your person and to your product. And then you need to go all in on that one platform until you've mastered it. So pick your platform and commit to it for at least 6 to 12 months and don't get distracted by what anybody else is doing online. Focus wins. So we're on to the last P now, one promise. And this is the thread that ties everything together. Your promise is the single transformation you're offering to your customer. Not 5 benefits, not 10 features, one clear, compelling promise that tells someone exactly what their life is going to look like after they use your product. But your promise has to match the problem you're solving. If you're solving away from pain, your promise is about relief, finally getting to peace. If you're solving towards gain, your promise is about becoming better, unlocking more, achieving more potential. Now, most brands fail here because they try and promise everything. They say their product will make you healthier, happier, more productive, more confident, and save you time. But when you promise everything, as per most of the messages in the rest of this video, you promise nothing. Your customer needs to know exactly what they are getting. And the more specific your promise, the more believable it is for them and their unique situation. Let's go back to the sleep tracker example. If you're solving away from pain, your promise might be guaranteed to prevent waking up at night or your money back within the first 30 days. That's it. Simple, clear, and specific. Now, if you're solving towards gain, as an example, your promise might be unlock peak performance by optimizing your sleep and double your sleep score guaranteed. Again, one promise, not 10. And the reason this works so well is because people need to be able to explain your product to someone else in one sentence. If they can't do that, they absolutely won't buy it, and they definitely won't recommend it. So write down your one promise. Make it simple, make it specific, and make sure it directly connects to the problem that you're solving for that specific person that you are targeting. So there you have it. One problem, one person, one platform, one promise. Pick your own 4 Ps, write them down, and then commit to them for the next 90 days. Don't change them, don't add to them, and most importantly, don't get distracted. Because the moment you stop trying to be everything and start being one thing really well, that's when everything changes. Look, if this video helped you, subscribe to the channel for more content on building and scaling e-commerce brands, and I'll see you in the next video.